Welcome everyone to Old Roommates. Today on the show, we revisit 1977's classic, Smokey and the Bandit. So come on in, put the pedal to the metal and the feet to the floor. We're about to hit the road.
Welcome everyone to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens.
Yes.
This is Christina.
And this is Brian.
And we are revisiting Smokey and the Bandit from 1977. Not Smokey and the Bear, which I keep saying over and over and over again. So expect that to happen.
Yeah, it'll happen.
It will definitely happen. As sure as I will call Matt Dillon Matt Damon. So Smokey and the Bandit, Brian.
Yeah.
Where were you the first time you saw Smokey and the Bandit? You were little when this came out.
But I will tell you, this was one of my dad's favorite movies.
Oh my gosh. Was he a country music person? Did he like Jerry Reed?
A little bit. I think he was, did he like country? I'm trying to think of the music he liked. I don't remember. But, he loved this movie. He loved it. And he watched it all the time. Luckily, it was PG, so he didn't care. I mean, he didn't really care what I watched anyway. He didn't care. But it was, but luckily I liked it. I really loved this movie when I was a little kid.
How did he watch it? Did he have a VCR? Way back then.
I know, that's a really good question. I feel like he did. I remember, but the thing is, I remember even my mom, because I lived with my mom, I went to the weekends with my dad, and like they both had VCRs, and I remember though, they cost like $450. They
were expensive. Like, it took us a long time to get a VCR in our house.
Yeah, and I remember one time, so our VCR cost $450, and at one point, one of my younger brothers put a bunch of crayons in it, in the slot, and we didn't know, and it was just not working, and it cost $119 to fix it.
Oh my god!
And we found out it was because they put crayons in it. The crayons had melted or whatever, and I was like, oh my god, $119. You got me. Sign of the times. You don't tell me what you spent. I'm guessing it was not $119. You got me a Blu-ray and DVD player.
Yeah, with wireless
capabilities. And
it was like $450. So there you go.
But
times haven't changed that much.
No, I know, but I mean, no, but that is a sign of the times for sure of how expensive VCRs were. But we must have just rented it a lot, or if it was on HBO, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe you owned it.
I feel like we watched it all the time. Maybe
I feel like people bought VHS tapes more than rented it. Way back, like in the 70s. I think in the 80s, I think people started renting it, like Blockbuster came out and stuff like that.
I have nothing to add to that. I don't know.
Sure.
That's
just a gut feeling. Yeah. So I'm
just afraid to fuel. I'm afraid to fuel your wrong information. in case you're wrong.
I can't.
But I will say.
So did you like it?
Should I let Sal in? Sorry,
you can let Sal in.
All right. As long as he behaves himself.
Come on, little mascot. Come on in, Sal. Oh,
wow.
Okay. That's great. That's real nice.
Oh my God.
That's real nice, Sal.
Some mascot. So,
but I only want to complain. I don't want to be invited in. I want to force myself in.
I saw it. I liked it. I remember thinking Jackie Gleason, or just, the sheriff was hilarious, and loving Sally Field. But, and Burt Reynolds, to be honest, my dad loved Burt Reynolds so much, I almost, equated their personalities to be similar. So it does have a special place in my heart, this movie, although have probably not seen it in over 40 years. By the way, this movie is, 45 years old.
Wow.
This year, 45 years old. Yeah.
Wow.
So, but that was me. How about you?
So it's funny because I feel like this was like our, parent generation's kind of movie.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that generation loved this movie.
Yeah.
Because I kind of remember my mom liking it. My father didn't watch movies at all, so it wouldn't have been my father. But even like my older siblings who are quite older than me, they liked this movie. There was something about it people really liked. I saw it probably, I don't know. I don't know when I saw it. It was at home. Or certainly wasn't in a movie theater. It was at home. I don't think we owned it, but maybe we rented it, or maybe we saw it on, I don't know, on TV. Did they show movies often on TV?
I know, that's what I'm thinking.
I feel like 56 maybe.
Maybe that's how. Like Channel 56, they would Saturday matinee movies.
Yeah, something like that. Like I feel like I was definitely on TV or whatever. But I feel like I watched it kind of, not a lot, but I mean, more than once as a child.
I'm gonna jump off the track a little bit because it's really interesting because I remember like there was TV 38 and they showed movies too. But I'm telling you the truth, I remember them showing like Dirty Harry on like a Saturday afternoon at 4.
Sure,
my dad loved Charles. I was Charles Manson. Who's the guy? Who's the action star? There was Clint Eastwood, Burt Reynolds.
Charlton Heston, not Charlton Heston. Chuck Norris.
Who was in Death Wish? No. Is that Death Wish? Oh my god, I'm so stupid right now.
Wow.
Can you use your phone?
Oh yeah, I forgot you can. You want to know who's in Death Wish?
I think it's Death Wish. It was Charles
Nelson Riley?
Oh my god, Death Wish was
wasn't Chuck Norris?
Not Chuck Norris.
Sorry, what am I looking up again?
Death Wish.
Death Wish.
Was it Manson?
They're all yelling at us right now. The 1974 film.
Yeah, who's the lead?
Charles Bronson.
Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
My dad loved Charles.
I was just gonna say that.
Yes, my dad loved Charles Bronson. He loved but I remember TV 38 and Channel 56. Always they showed all the time. Yeah. Those guys, those male-driven action adventure, killer movies. In the middle of the day, and no one said a word.
Yeah, nobody cared.
No one said a word. No one cared. No one complained. Like, you go from watching, like, the fucking Banana Splits to Death Wish in 2 hours.
Yeah, no problem. No
so
problem
this
at all.
But
so
go back to
my
you.
question,
I know,
I'm sorry.
your
question. So it was 77, I was 10 years old. So I was probably, 11, 12, watching this. And I remember it's very similar about the sheriff. I thought he was hilarious.
Yeah.
I thought he was super bumbling and funny.
Mm-hmm.
And Burt Reynolds was so slick.
Yeah.
I was a little young to think he was handsome or anything. I didn't really think that way.
Same.
But I remember him being like so slick and funny, and he got him again. Like one of those... Yeah. He's so smart and just a wise guy.
Like a Bill Murray.
Kind of the Bill Murray of our generation.
Bill Murray of the 70s.
Of the 70s. But yeah, I just thought he was funny and action-packed.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember that much about Sally Fields. Mm-hmm. I don't remember how I felt about her. I'm sure I felt fine about her. But yeah, all in all, I thought it was a fun, hilarious, car-chasing kind of movie.
Cool.
Yeah. So when did you watch this?
I watched
this revisit.
Probably 4 or 5 nights ago.
Okay, and again, and actually it was the same. I haven't seen this since.
Yeah.
Since I was like 12.
95 minutes, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So this is directed by Hal Needham. Hal Needham was actually a stunt man for a long time and wanted to make this movie, the story. And he couldn't get a lot of budget for this. But then Burt Reynolds joined the picture and he got an extra $1 million.
Wow.
Burt Reynolds, though, was like the biggest movie star in the world at that time.
Yeah.
But he really couldn't. But because Hal Needham had never directed a movie or done anything other than be a stuntman necessarily, he was only given $4 million. The movie went on to make $300 million.
Holy shit.
On a $4 million budget.
Wow.
So people went back again and again for this. And now, watched it a few nights ago, and I'm going to be really honest. Overall, I enjoyed myself.
Okay.
I kept thinking, there's a certain point I'm like, oh my god, this is like the Speed, the 1990s movie, Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. It's basically like the Speed of like the 70s. Like they can't stop the bus because it'll explode. Right. But the Bandit and Bo and Carrie can't stop the car or they'll be arrested.
Right.
And it has a sort of like I don't know, this excitement to it. I thought that a lot of the stunt work was excellent. I thought to be honest, I'm talking a lot and I apologize, but
It's okay.
I thought the worst part of it was almost Burt Reynolds. He was kind of a dud to me, but I loved Sally Field. I liked that she wasn't a damsel in distress.
Right.
I still like Jackie Gleason, even though he was racist and homophobic and misogynistic and awful. But my general note is, I enjoyed myself.
Interesting.
Christina, how about you?
I did not.
Ah!
I did not enjoy this movie.
Okay.
I thought this was so. First of all,
Yeah.
I had to watch it twice, basically, because the first time I watched it, I fell asleep because I was so bored. I physically fell asleep during this movie for like a good portion of it.
Oh my god.
And then I like woke up near the end and I'm like, shit, now I have to watch this thing again? To me, it was very, very boring.
Wow.
It was, I didn't feel like the, I feel the same way about Burt Reynolds. I didn't think he was all that. I didn't think the sheriff was funny. I couldn't get past how racist he was and how sexist he was. And some of the things out of his mouth was shockingly bad.
Like when he told his son was so stupid he was going to go home and punch his mama.
Yeah, he didn't even just say that. He said...
In the mouth.
In the mouth. He said, I don't believe... You're so stupid. I don't think you were from my loins.
Right.
I'm going to go home, and first thing I'm going to do is punch your mama in the mouth. That... Oh, and he laughed. Nice, Brian. Nice.
Christina, how about this one? I laughed at this one. This happens every time one of those dancers start poo-tanging around with those
Poo-tanging, I know.
I'm not done with my sentence.
Go on.
My amazing acting. My reenactment. Starts poo-tanging around with those show folk fags. PG.
Man, oh man. Everything about this.
But I think we can argue and it's fine.
Yes.
Here's the thing. The second I can give this character energy like that, of course he's a disaster. I don't think he's driving a car. The car he is driving, I mean, like, it is a dilapidated, the top gets ripped off. All of these things get, like, it's destroyed, and he's still driving it.
I did appreciate that part. Yeah.
It is a comedy. And by the way, it's one-upped almost consistently. Like, when the thing with when he has the black sheriff, he assumes, because the guy is black, that he's not the sheriff, he's a cop. And, and he's like, let me talk. He's like, hey, boy, which super racist.
Although, in his defense, he called
everyone boy. He did do that.
He did call everybody boy.
But he did say boy with a little bit more emphasis. He said, hey, boy. He's like, let me talk to the sheriff. And the guy's like, I am the sheriff. He's like, oh, and he immediately backs down, turns and says something along the lines.
I know exactly what he said. He said, what is this world coming to? Terrible. Terrible.
But you can't. He is a move. It's Smokey and the Bandit. Like he is so evil. How about this one? He's like, I mean, it just taps into his mental state. Okay.
Yeah.
He's really upset because Carrie, Sally Field, ditched his son at the altar.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Well, okay, and he says, huh, this is what I get. She owes me. Decorating the whole town. Costing me up to $40. $40 to host a wedding.
And then, that's hilarious. And then, hear what he said? Did you write down what he said after that?
No.
Dancing up in the aisle, knockers bouncing up and down, all over the joint. Her ass was wiggling too. Like, this is, seriously? Like, oh my.
I'm gonna barbecue your ass in molasses. I mean, Christina, he did everything he spouts is nonsense.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Like, if anything, he's probably did a lot for misogyny, homophobia, and racism because he was such a toxic character.
Yeah, he is very toxic. But he was saying all these things for laughs.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the part that kind of bothered me a little bit. You know, it's just, I don't know. I just don't find it funny. Middle-aged lens, of course. Okay. I just didn't find it funny when he said he's going to punch his mother in the mouth. I just didn't find that funny.
Again.
I'm going to punch you in the mouth.
He said his son is so stupid he's going to punch his mother in the mouth.
Not in that same sentence, though. Like, he said, yes, I don't believe that you're from my loins because you're so stupid. Yeah. And then in the next sentence, it's not like you're so stupid. I'm going to punch your mother in the mouth.
He said that. Yeah, the first thing.
The first thing I'm going to do when I get home is punch your mother in the mouth. Like I think that's a different tone.
But he's not going to do any of these things.
Do you know that for sure?
I do actually.
I don't know. You know him personally.
You guess he didn't see the sequel where he goes home. And he does not punch the mother away.
The mother punches him in the mouth. Is that better?
He's an abused.
So
husband.
yeah, I couldn't get past him. I mean. Whatever. I mean, I like Jackie Gleason. I know these are words that were just written down for him to say, and I think he did a good job being this awful character. But I just didn't find him funny. Like, I thought... I used to think he was hilarious. I just didn't find him funny this time around.
Yeah.
Because the words were too strong for me, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah. His tone was too much.
So if this were to come out today, what would this be rated?
Probably a PG-13.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it would be an R, but I don't think it would even be, I don't even think they would have those words written.
Yeah.
I think they would be completely toned down.
Yeah. Maybe you're right.
Like, instead
of
I'm going to punch her in the mouth, I'm going to kick her butt. Or, something like that. Ooh. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's worse than punching her in the mouth? Oh, my.
I don't know. That's the answer. I do think it's, of course. I don't think you would be able to say these things today. I think maybe that's part of why I was laughing. Because it's shocking. You don't hear that.
Was it a nervous laughter?
You just don't hear that anymore. Like
you don't.
Christina, I was reciting it to Carl the next day.
Oh my God.
I'm like, honey, this dialogue. And everything was like, you some bitch.
Some bitch.
Bitch.
The some bitch.
A lot of this, by the way, was sort of like written on the fly. A lot of this dialogue was created on the fly.
Yeah.
And the some bitch, I believe, is what Burt Reynolds' father used to say all the time.
So I read something about this Buford T. Justice, who's the Gleason character.
Yes.
Was based on a person that Burt Reynolds' father actually knew.
Yes, I think that's right.
Yeah. So that's probably true.
Yeah, maybe that's true. Yeah,
like if he's saying that. Yeah. So,
but I'll be honest, like in the 70s, Jesus, we talked about this with The Color Purple. I mean, it was a different thing. Like, my dad made racist comments, and I didn't like my father at all. But it's like that, and it's like, it's just one of those weird...
It was more accepted. You know, it was like they said it, and it was...
more accepted or less challenged.
Less challenged. That's
someone could make a racist statement and you wouldn't be like, excuse me.
Yeah.
People have feelings. I mean, it's like but that is a sign of the times. And it's like, was it right? Of course not. Was it challenged? Not much. So I think it's like, that's what was going on then.
Yeah.
And but what I did like about this movie is you have Jackie Gleason, who is the toxic, racist, misogynistic, homophobic sheriff, and you have the Bandit, who has black friends. He is not making moves on Sally Field. If anything, she's making moves on him.
No, but he's constantly saying things to her like he wants to do her. He called her frog. Why did he call her frog? Because she's cute like a frog and she's always bossing around.
And he wants to hump her.
And I want to jump you.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense because frogs jump.
Yes.
Not people who are with frogs. Doesn't make any sense. But like he has said, I want to jump you, or something about jumping her several times throughout this movie.
What was she saying to him?
But she was saying similar things, yeah.
Did you ever take your hat off? For one thing. Like, oh, do you want to take your hat off? I mean, it was the 70s.
It was
It's
the 70s.
hard. Maybe it's hard for you to wrap your head around it, Christina.
And I liked Sally Field's... And honestly, the dialogue was secondary to me. It was really... I just felt like a boring movie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, the stakes were low. I mean,
they're carrying
like beer.
400 cases of beer.
Will they get the beer to Texas
within 28 hours?
Yeah. I mean, the stakes are really low. And maybe that's why this movie did so well. It's because it was like, it's kind of like, oh, okay, this is the most simple plot in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a bunch of people that are just driving fast and doing crazy car stunts. I really thought sometimes you can tell the film is just being sped up to make it seem like they're going faster. But there were scenes like that 18-wheeler was going really fast around corners. I thought a lot of the spin outs and stuff of the Trans Am, we didn't talk about that. The Trans Am has a Confederate flag on it.
Yes.
But I looked into Smokey and the Bandit Part 2, which is 3 years later, and it doesn't.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's on the front of the car, right? So I don't, and when I looked at Smokey and the Bandit Part 2, it is not there anymore. So I don't know if it shows up in other places. I apologize if this is not accurate. Or maybe, because it's on Peacock, by the way.
Oh,
so
funny.
I wondered, maybe Peacock just removed it from the image? So
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, who knows? But I will say,
Good.
I have a note about you in this. I wrote this about you.
Seatbelts?
No, but here's this, right? I will say, good movie driving, except Jerry Reed was all over the road with the steering wheel. Yeah. But here's the thing. Bigger than the seatbelt thing for me, oh my God, these people littering all over the place.
Everything.
Cups, coffee cups.
Everything.
Notebooks.
Right out the window.
Coffee cups, notebooks, pens.
That's a middle-aged lens.
A wedding dress.
The wedding dress and the veil, which, by the way, veils cost a lot of money. Nobody in the right mind.
And they're not biodegradable. So that's probably still there somewhere in Alabama.
Well, and then after that, so here's the things that bother me mostly. And I get, a lot of the dialogue was actually funny. I actually appreciated the dialogue. I felt that it was like the whole, the sexist stuff was a little bit too much. Like, it was just like, oh. Like, the fact that they, like, allowed it to happen, or Sally Field, it was almost like, and I'm insulted because I felt like Sally Field wouldn't have left this happen, but I know that's unrealistic. It was like a third movie. Like, she's not going to make a stand. Yeah. She probably didn't even notice. It's the 70s. It doesn't matter. All this. But that's what bothered me mostly about this is, like, all these little sexist things. When she threw out the wedding dress out the window, she's like, Jerry Reed is like, oh, tell me what she's wearing. And he wouldn't let it go. Like, what is she wearing now? I got to know what she's wearing. Like, I'm like, oh, my God, enough. Just, it's like some of that stuff is just too much.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But mostly I just thought it was a boring movie. That's really what it boiled down to. There was like a chase, and they lost him, and then a chase, and they lost him, and then a chase, and then they lost him.
Yeah.
And that's all it was over and over again. There was nothing really. They never really brought a lot of new things to the table.
Well, they were in the diner together.
They did that one moment. Yeah, they had that cute little moment.
That was Jackie Gleason's idea.
Which was cute. Yeah, that was cute.
And I think, like, I don't know, I really liked it. I mean, it's so funny because I think when it ended, I was like, meh, it's a little like, who cares? Yeah. But as I was talking to Carl the next day, who he didn't watch it with me, I was like, oh, I guess I kind of liked it more than I thought. But I remember watching this as a kid too, and but it wasn't nostalgia for me. It was like I was just trying to I don't know. I was really absorbing it because it had been so long.
Yeah.
And I'm like, think I'm enjoying this. At Sally Field, Burt Reynolds actually fought for her because.
Were they dating at the time?
No, they started dating.
Okay.
Yeah, but before that. Basically, he found out, Sally Field was up for it. She'd done mostly TV. And she had this really tough image of, like, Gidget or the Flying Nun or whatever.
Both of them, probably.
And they thought that she wasn't attractive enough to be in a, Burt Reynolds movie. It should be, like, the sex symbol. And when Burt Reynolds found out about that, he got really pissed. And was like, no, Sally's in the movie. I want Sally in the movie. And that was kind of a nice thing. He could have had, Lonnie Anderson or some big boobed blonde, but
Farrah was big then.
Farrah, So I didn't look at who else was being considered, but those sound like the right names, right? Suzanne Summers probably.
Well, he was in Cannonball Run with Farrah.
But she was in that.
Yeah,
I don't remember that. But here's the thing. Oh my God, I forgot. What was I gonna say?
Gidget, trying to shed the image.
Damn it.
You'll figure it out. While you're thinking, we should let people know on Patreon, patreon.com/oldroommates. We're going to be writing up our favorite comedy role of Sally Field and our favorite dramatic role.
Yeah.
We'll each write something up on her.
That's amazing.
So, it's good. She's been in so much.
So many. And it's nice that she really has enough work where you can say, like, comedy drama.
Yes.
Like, she's not, I mean, people think of Sally Field and think of, like, you know, Oscar winner, but she's done a lot of stuff.
She's done a lot. Yeah. So we'll have that.
I found my note, exactly what we're talking about. So with this Carrie character, I did write, you know, I'm actually glad, as I'm watching this, I'm like, I do have, I mean, listen, I have critiques about this movie. I just haven't got to them yet. But I will say, like, I have it down, like, no seatbelt. And the other thing was about Carrie is that I know she's a little, like, you know, tough, right?
Yeah.
But like, she doesn't scream or yell once. At one point, she says something like, oh God, she's like, oh my God, I can't look, right? And she like turns around, her ass is in the camera.
Yeah.
But really, it's like, I mean, he's going over 110 miles an hour. Okay,
yeah.
It's been definitely clear. But she's not. There's very little shock in her, and I did find that weird. Now, at the same time, I am glad she wasn't some, like, say, snobby rich girl who everything the Bandit does, she's shocked by.
Yep.
Because I would have gotten tired real fast.
Yes.
But I wish Carrie was a little more normal. Does that make sense?
She was a little over the top.
Yeah.
It was almost like they were afraid to show a tough woman without her being a little crazy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and she just left her wedding and all that kind of stuff. So, whatever. I'll buy into that a bit. But I did feel like, and I know I've been very negative so far, but I did feel like their chemistry was pretty good.
Yeah, they were cute together.
I liked the two of them together. Mm-hmm. They bounced off each other a little bit. I liked her character. But I agree, like, he was a little bit boring.
He really was.
Like, he didn't really have that sex appeal that he's known for.
Well, there's also that one part where he pulls up into the camera and he looks at the camera and smiles.
Yeah.
That's weird. I'm like, he's just milking his sex symbol status, his movie star status. But I'm telling you, he didn't bring a lot. He did not bring much to this picture at all.
No, he really didn't. And I had imagined him being, you know, hilarious.
I thought he would have super charisma. Like,
yeah.
No.
A couple notes here. At the beginning, he was so rude. He walks into a house and ignores the owner of the house.
Yes.
And he says, I can't even look at you with the curlers in your hair.
Oh, my God. I know.
Really?
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Super rude.
Yeah.
Then there was a note I have. I liked some of the little lines that they have, which were cute. I have a couple that are written down. One of them was, I have to pick up this maneuver. And then Bandit says, a shitty job. Did you catch that?
Oh, the manure.
Yeah.
Manure. Oh, there's a maneuver. You said maneuver.
Did I say whatever?
Yeah, it's funny.
Manure.
If he has, I just wrote he's really hammy in this, like when he's not being boring.
Yeah.
But it's like, he's like, oh, I'm doing it for the money and for the glory and for the fun. But mostly for the, what do you say, mostly for the money? What do you say, mostly?
I think
I wrote it down, mostly for the, yeah, I think I wrote it down wrong. I wrote mostly for the fun. But it's, but he says mostly for the money. But it's like, but every line reading of his is so hammy. And I'm like, was that Burt Reynolds? Really? Is that his shtick? But it's a little Bill Murray-ish, though. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I said that.
I think you said that.
I'm right. But
there was one part where they were doing they had to use a forklift to get the cases of beer. And he says, I can drive any forking thing around. That's what it is.
Yes.
I can't even read my writing. I can drive any forking thing around. So some of those things were cute to me and made me kind of giggle.
Let me see. So.
Sorry. You were saying that she didn't really scream or yell that much. There was one part where she screamed and it was over the top and I was like, "Ugh, please stop." When they jumped. They made the jump, and she's like, you jumped it! I can't believe it! Let's do it again! Let's jump a house!
I don't think she screamed that much. I really don't, because I was looking for it.
I don't know, it was like...
I think she was excited.
She was
excited by it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. She was never scared. She was never scared of like, oh my God, going too fast.
No, she wasn't scared. You're
right. So one thing I think it needs to be discussed a little bit, because it was the 70s, the time of tight jeans.
Yes. That was almost my first note.
That is my first note.
That was almost my first note.
You cannot not.
All I was doing, maybe that's why it was so boring, because you couldn't hear anything that was coming out of his mouth. I mean, come on.
How did he not get a yeast infection?
How could he even walk?
His jeans were so tight. What's called a moose knuckle. A moose knuckle, right? Do people say that? This camel toe.
I've never heard
This camel toe and moose knuckle.
I've never heard of moose knuckle, but that's appropriate.
It is like, it's like with
it
the
was really
you just can't
something.
not notice it.
It was really something.
I'm like, his
and
pants are so tight.
And he was the only one that had those really tight pants. Like, Jerry did not have those really tight pants.
No.
Sally Field had some tight pants.
She did, yeah.
But
I thought she looked cute in this.
She looked really cute, yeah. She was so young.
She was so young.
Her little face is like so old.
Well, she even makes a comment. She's like, my chubby cheeks. She's like, oh, my cheeks are too chubby or something like that.
Yeah, she was really cute. But those tight pants, and you could see everything he owned.
Oh my God, his pants were so tight. So, I did think this was funny, although I don't know who said it. One shit at a time. I love that line. I think it was, all right, so two people are complaining to someone, and someone stops and says, all right, one shit at a time. I think it was maybe Jackie Gleason.
Probably,
yeah. The sheriff.
Sounds like
Another line, Christina.
Yeah.
Also to his son. Get off of there, you schnauzer's dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's my note all written directly to you. I wrote, Christina must be loving these songs.
What songs? What songs?
They call me the Bandit. They call him the Bandit. Just watch old Bandit run.
The only song I remember... I like how you just did that.
Thank you.
The only song I remember is the only song they play during the chases.
Eastbound and Down.
Eastbound and Down, over and over and over again.
Sung by...
Jerry Reed, obviously.
Yeah.
But...
I don't know if it's obvious for everyone listening to this.
Well, it's... Okay.
Okay.
But every single time there was a chase, just in case you didn't know it was a chase, you got the same damn song. Wow. I didn't mind the song until they played it so many times. I'm like, why do they keep playing the same stupid song?
Yeah.
Like, come on, you didn't need to do that.
I completely agree. But you got even, to me, the worst songs were when he pulls off the road, and there's just have this like little romantic moment, and it's all like, they call me the Bandit. it's like, oh my God, you're not trying to make this like a romantic moment. Yeah. But I
didn't really feel like they had a lot of romance. I liked their.
Well, it's alluded to.
It's alluded to.
Because she's like, take your hat off.
It's alluded to, but I didn't feel like. I'm sorry, I have to adjust myself. Speaking of tight pants, I'm just kidding. These are very loose pants. I just didn't think, like, I liked them better as, like, buddies.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't really feel like a lot of romance. In fact, that kiss.
Oh my God.
Oh.
He didn't even move his mouth.
Awful.
It
was so bad.
He also just like put his mouth on her. He
opens his mouth, puts his mouth on her mouth. Yeah. Pushes down probably as hard as he possibly can. Has her entire face and his face completely smushed.
And I'm telling you this, they would never do that in a movie these days.
Never.
Because both of their faces had wrinkles on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were kissing that hard. It formed all these weird wrinkles.
But then, like you said,
his
didn't
mouth do anything.
There was
he
no
didn't move
movement.
His mouth.
There was no movement of a head or a mouth or anything. It was like, what are they doing?
He was just pressing his mouth.
It looked so uncomfortable.
Weird.
There's yuck. And
we are in total agreement on that.
Great.
Kiss. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
And I do agree with some of the other things you're saying, because it's not a perfect film. But but going back to, I have a note in here. I must have had Barb and Star on the brain.
Oh my God.
Because I wrote, Snowman's driving is up there with Yo-Yo's submarine skills. When she's like, that's right, turn the wheel one way. Now quickly turn it the other way, just a little bit. Like she's like giving him direction.
Gosh. So
but
funny.
His steering wheel was all over the place. It's like, no, it can't be. You're mostly on a highway. Like you're not turning your steering wheel that much. And certainly not on an 18-wheeler. I worried about the dog's safety in a couple scenes. They were a little dog around.
I said something about Fred that he was like my favorite part of the whole thing.
Oh, Christina, that's not fair.
Well.
Interesting where...
Best part of the movie is Fred. That's what I mean.
Fred the dog. So, There's one point where the bandit says, "I'm too poop to pop," and it is said in a sexual connotation, right? Because he calls this woman, and she's like,
"Oh, he calls the prostitute."
The two. Thank you. Yeah.
He calls the prostitute, and he's basically, I have a note on this too. He's sitting next to Sally Field. They've already established that they're a couple.
Yeah.
And they're gonna, whatever. And he's talking to this prostitute about how he's gonna bang her when, getting back, when he gets back to her or whatever. The next time he sees her.
Yeah.
Not disrespectful at all.
But now he can't because he's too poop to pop. And it's
he can't right now.
And that is a quite literal use of that phrase. I mean, people, at least not so much anymore, but I remember people used to say too poop to pop all the time. And I wonder if it came from that movie. But that has a very different meaning. And usually it's just, I'm too poop to pop, I can't make it. Yeah. Like, I didn't know it had sexual origins. It's like Grease all over again.
Yeah,
Grease
seriously.
Lightning.
Oh my gosh, that's so true.
So, to be honest, I don't have very many notes. How about you?
What else do I have? There's a lot of beaver jokes.
Oh my God, yes.
A lot of beaver jokes.
Yes.
Talking about women.
Looking
them
down.
Beavers.
That's one of the great things about driving a truck, right? Up there, looking down at all the beavers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, did he just say fucking beavers?
He did.
In a PG movie.
In a PG. They don't even
But also, these women aren't naked. They're wearing pants or, right? Like, you could.
No, they called women beavers.
I thought beaver was specific.
Beaver is specifically the genitalia of women, but they would call me a beaver.
Oh my God!
Terrible.
Just minimizing.
But then it wasn't as bad because it wasn't. It's bad either way because there was a woman on the CB and her handle is Little Beaver.
Oh my God!
I mean, it's so crass.
Yeah.
So crass. So there's a note for you.
All right, Christina.
It was $1.50 for 2 burgers and a large iced tea. $1.50.
Well, $40 to put a wedding on.
And
they didn't say it was a nice wedding.
No, but she had a pretty nice dress.
Yeah.
There's a joke in here. I found him in the shower with a girl and his mother. Oh, that was Carrie was talking about an ex-boyfriend. I found him in the shower with a girl and her mother must have been, not his mother.
Right.
And then he said, well, at least he kept it in the family.
Yeah.
So, kind of cute.
Same
song plays at every chase. What else? I have another page here. Let's see. That's gotta know what she's wearing. No. Something is gonna leave me at no church.
Well, that's Jackie Gleason talking about Sally Field.
What did she say, though? No pussy? I can't read.
Well, he does remember. She's a dancer, and he said that's not the poo-tanging line.
No, it said something. No, I wrote it down for a reason. I can't read my writing. So does it determine why he needed the car in the first place?
Who?
Burt Reynolds. Why do they need the car?
Yeah, because any time that truck is in trouble, right?
So
he
then
flies by.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Oh, we have to get him.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But my other question about that was, this car is so fast. He's in all these chases, right? How in the hell is that truck ahead of him? At one point near the end of the movie, he's like, "I'm ahead of you." Like, but how?
Well, I think he's
he going around different things? Okay, he's chasing them around.
Yeah. He's taking any police activity. Because that's why they have the CB. Because they know where the cops are going to be and all that, blah, 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 blah. And so anytime that comes up, he's like, all right, and he's going to spin out and go crazy to get the highway patrol following him. Yeah. So the truck can keep going. So the truck will always be ahead.
All right, that makes sense. So I'm glad I asked you that question.
Yeah.
Jackie Gleason calls him a tit turd at one point in time.
Oh, wow. Okay. Did I remember that?
Interesting. I forget what it was, but here's a middle-aged lens for you.
Yeah.
She says, I need to go, at 11-100, which is
no, at 10-100.
10-100. 10-100, which is P. Could I have a dime?
Ah, right.
And he says, crawl under. Do you remember those days? In public bathrooms, for those of you who are not aware, way back when in the 70s, probably early 80s too, when you'd go to a public restroom, you had to pay a dime or usually a quarter, and my memory is a quarter, and they were locked. Each stall had a lock on it, and you had to put a quarter in to unlock it, and then go to the bathroom, and then that was that. And then you could crawl under if you really had to. But that's what she's referring to, and I was dying. I'm like, oh my God, a pay restroom.
But even that's funny in the sense of like just an exercise in bad manners. If he's like, crawl under. I mean, I laughed out loud.
Rude, though,
because
right?
it's just rude.
Just
but it's
crawl
like
under. You can't spare a dime.
But I feel like all of these characters, again, this is low stakes. This is dumb. I don't know. I didn't take any of it seriously. Like, I don't know. I laughed a lot at some of the rudeness.
Yeah.
The other thing is what? I had something else in here, but I can't find it. Oh yeah. So I at the end, I did like that. I said I love the ending, even though it's abrupt.
Yeah.
But I thought it was actually, like, considering where they were going with the end of the movie, I thought it was very satisfying. Like, in terms of Jackie Gleason's right there, and he's like, "Oh, we're right behind you," or "Look to your left," and he's like, "You son of a bitch," and
that was
then
cute.
they took off again.
That was cute.
Like, I was glad, like, it was like it established like that they had met before, and that he was so close to nabbing them, and then they go again. A bit ridiculous because they just got this different car, and why would you even want to do this?
Yeah.
But, going to Boston, and then like going to Boston for clam chowder, and back in, how many hours was it? 18 hours?
It
no
was
way.
28 hours. It had to be within 28 hours to get the beer.
Right.
And then as soon as he showed up, double or nothing.
Yeah.
Go to Boston
chowder.
and get me some chowder. It's like, okay.
And Sally Field said yes first. Yeah. I also thought they did a lot with Sally in terms of like her breaking that image. Like, she gave the middle finger.
Yeah.
She swore a couple times. If anything, I think the only person that swore besides the sheriff was her.
Probably, yeah.
So anyway, but that's that. So before match game question, or questions, I should say, more, less, about the same.
I would say less for me. I just didn't feel like it was as entertaining as I remembered it to be.
Okay.
It wasn't as fun. And I think a lot of it had to do with, obviously, like the dialogue and the racist and the sexist and all that kind of crap. Like, it just made me cringe too many times to really enjoy it. And I just felt like the chasing, maybe I've seen too many chases since then.
Mm-hmm, sure.
I just didn't feel like it was entertaining enough. Like, I felt like it was the same chase over and over again, and it was just a bit boring.
I don't know, for me, I watched it on Peacock. It was just, regular, whatever. And I was like, okay, it's a 70s movie, I have to brace myself. But I ended up actually enjoying it. And I think there was part of it, so I think I liked it more than before. I think part of it was, it was what it was. I didn't take any of it seriously. The characters were all broken, messed up people in their own way. That it didn't offend me, but I can totally see why it would offend someone. So that's that. And now, should I do a match game question?
Let's do a match game question.
Do you have one too?
I do, yes.
Right.
Do you want to go first?
I will go first. Well, I think Carrie definitely hooked up with the Bandit.
Oh boy.
By the time they got to Boston, she had blank marks all over her body. Ding. Yep. Well, there's only two answers, but not even. All right, what'd you say, Christina?
I said skid marks.
Ew!
But it's a play on words because it's a driving movie, so skid marks isn't always poop, Brian.
That's gross.
But
I had mustache marks. Like mustache burns.
Sure, like road rash.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh my God.
All right, well, we've really not matched in a long
No,
time,
we've
my
not
friend.
All right.
Yeah, really. And we've been disagreeing on movies so much lately.
You think?
It's funny because I have.
Oh yeah, singles we did.
Singles we disagreed on.
This one.
Maybe that was it. But Ghostbusters we both liked.
Yeah, I don't know. No, you're right though. All right.
Anyway, all right. So I have my match game question. Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll match on this one.
Maybe.
All right, so CB handles. So
yeah.
We're using a lot of those in this movie.
Yeah.
They can be a little confusing.
Okay.
I mean, we know that Roger means yes.
Oh, right.
And Smokey means police officer.
Right.
But who would have guessed that candy shop means blank? And it's not like a real answer.
I see what you're saying.
It's just a match game.
Candy
So
shop.
anybody who's doing a CB thing, please. So
Oh my
candy
God.
shop means blank.
Oh my God.
Keep in mind.
I have an answer.
Keep in mind it's the 70s. Too,
I have an answer.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't coach me.
I'm just saying. It's the 70s. So. All right.
Ding.
Ding. All right, CB handles can be confusing. Roger means yes. Smokey means police officer. But who knew candy shop means
The ladies' room.
good one?
Thank you.
Why would you get candy from ladies' room?
Like sweet talking. Like
Like in a whorehouse?
nice, Christina.
Candy shop means whorehouse. Can't you see that in
Yeah.
this movie?
Totally.
We're going to the candy shop.
Yeah. I feel like that would be like the Beaver Mill or something.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
The Beaver
yes.
Den.
The Beaver Den.
Beaver Den.
The Beaver House.
If you had to think of a name for a CB, what would your name be?
Ooh, that's a good thing.
I have absolutely no answer. I haven't even thought
I don't
about
have an
it.
answer. Let's think about it and put it on Patreon.
All right, and that was
All right.
Smokey and the Bin, available on Peacock.
And that's it for this episode of Old Roommates. Thank you for listening. For bonus content, please visit us at patreon.com/oldroommates.
And follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, at Old Roommates. Thanks for listening. Until next time.